Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, sir.
Okay, 17th June 2022. Right, so these are the important articles. Look at the first page. Yesterday we looked into details of Agnipath scheme from prelims perspective, and yes, we are having this follow up on how anti-Agnipath turns violent in different states. Yes, the violence is happening, all these things are there, but you should understand why this violence is happening, why some people are not agreeing with this scheme. Okay, so that part I will briefly tell you. And the government has taken decision to increase the hiring upper age limit to 23 for this year. So the exception is provided here. Yesterday we talked about the details of this scheme, and the eligibility criteria was 17.5 years to 21 years. तो पिछले 2 साल में जो है वो हायरिंग रैलीज हुई नहीं है आर्म फोर्सेस का, सो इसलिए उन्होंने क्या किया है 23 इयर्स ऑफ एज इसमें बढ़ा के दिया है 1 साल के लिए सिर्फ. ओके, डिमोलिशन शुड नॉट बी रिटालिएटरी. ओके, सो सुप्रीम कोर्ट टेल्स यूपी गवर्नमेंट. सो सेवरल पेटिशंस वेयर being heard in Supreme Court now, and the Supreme Court in first observation in this let's say listening to these petitions has said that the demolition should not be retaliatory. Okay, so again the next week there will be hearing of this case, and we'll see what Supreme Court is going to say about this. There is one editorial or lead article talking about the bulldozer justice, the illegality of this bulldozer justice. So come to page number 8 directly. Come to page number 8. There you can see that the Justice Madan Lokur, former judge of Supreme Court of India, so he writes very good articles from human rights perspective. Okay, so social justice and human rights perspective, so उनके आर्टिकल काफ़ी अच्छे होते हैं. ठीक है, सो एक क्रिटिकल पर्सपेक्टिव जब आपको चाहिए होता है कोई भी एक सोशल इशू के ऊपर, ओके, सोशल जस्टिस वाले इशू के ऊपर और ह्यूमन राइट्स वायलेशंस के ऊपर. Right, so here the bulldozer injustice to teach a lesson. So what are the different illegal issues that are involved here in bulldozer justice or injustice? We will cover this part from polity and social justice in GS2 paper. Now, as we are following here the Delhi edition, there is one article on page number 3. Those who are reading Hindu newspaper as Delhi edition, come to page number 3. Warm sleepless nights in a concrete jungle. There is one article on bottom side, and yes, those who are living in Delhi may be experiencing such kind of warm temperature, excessive warm temperatures during summer at present. And the reason here is basically the land use change that is happening. So the concrete being used in the urban sector, like tar roads and the glasses, so basically they are altering the land surface, and therefore they are altering the albedo of the surface. Because of that, the more and more heat being trapped. That's why the urban heat islands are being formed, and this is more severe in Delhi. This is what it is explained here. In geography part and environment section, we learned about this urban heat island effect.
This is the reason for without heating also the sweat is coming outside. Even without any function also the body sweat is very heavy.
Yes. So heat is being trapped and heat island is being formed. At the same time, जैसे city grow होता है वो heat island भी और grow होता है. Right, so urbanization is continuous process. It is growing and growing urban areas, and because of that heat island effect is also strengthening. ठीक है. Now come to page number 10, text and context page. On bottom side you can see the move to link credit card with UPI. Okay, so recently the RBI had mooted this idea. At present, you know that unified payment interface, UPI, we all use that UPI on our mobile phone that is linked to the bank account. At the same time we know that bank accounts are having some debit cards. तो ये debit card से linked है. So whatever the transactions at present are happening through UPI, they are directly linked to our bank account and debit card. But up till now it was not linked to credit cards. Now there is proposal to link this UPI to credit card also, so that there is more spending by the people. At the same time it will boost aggregate demand in the economy. There will be more options available to the people for paying at different let's say locations, especially in retail areas, in suburban and rural areas where point of sale POS machines are not available, but still the QR code enabled UPI payment is available. ठीक है, तो उसके लिए ये एक अच्छा ऑप्शन है, and that's why it is good development. So we'll try to find out the benefits of this new initiative. Now on page number 12, on bottom side, ASEAN India meet discusses remarks on profit informally. So 24th ASEAN India ministerial meeting happened, or senior official meeting and ministerial meeting happened. So we are celebrating 30 years of India ASEAN bilateral diplomatic relations. This will be this year will be also the friendship year of India ASEAN countries. Okay, so these developments are important. We are expecting this year's question in mains examination GS2 paper IR section, India ASEAN relations. बहुत सालों से क्वेश्चन आया नहीं है ASEAN पे ऊपर, so we can expect that question as we are completing 30 years of bilateral relations. All right, come to page number 14. Antagi recommends reducing booster dose gap to 6 months. So here you should know that National Technical Advisory Group on Immunization, from time to time it advises or recommends government in terms of COVID-19 vaccination policy decisions. Ultimate decision is taken by the government, but this is technical advisory body, we can say recommendatory body, and it has recommended to reduce the booster dose gap to 6 months. At present it is 9 months. Okay, so we'll have follow up on this COVID-19 vaccination policy as the number of cases are increasing in the country. Then on bottom side you can see US to fund 3 Indian research institutions. India-US relations, you should know that how US is helping India in terms of strengthening health sector, especially the zoonotic diseases and new infections, detecting them. So it is helping us to strengthen our research institutions, especially ICMR and associated institutions like which are the other institutions? Yes, National Institute of Virology Pune and National Institute of Epidemiology Chennai. तो इनको ये फंडिंग मिलेगा. ओके, employment related data. Unemployment rate dips in first quarter of 2022 survey. So which survey we are talking here? Periodic labor force survey. It has reported that unemployment rate for urban areas has decreased to 8.2% in the last quarter of previous financial year, January to March 2022. Okay, so just update your employment, unemployment related data, as this is the important input for your essay paper and GS3 paper economy part. All right, let us discuss these articles now. Yes, so first one is bulldozer justice. So we all know that recently there was one incident that happened. Okay, and after that what happened is there were riots and violent protest in different parts of the country, and UP government resorted to demolition drive against those involved in the violent protests, and those activists, their homes were demolished. So one of the activists, Mr. Javed, his house in Prayagraj तो वो डिमोलिश हुआ था, उसका फोटो फ्रंट पेज पे आया हुआ था, राइट. एंड हाउ दिस बुलडोजर जस्टिस इज इलीगल इज एक्सप्लेन्ड इन दिस आर्टिकल, एंड व्हाई अकाउंटेबिलिटी ऑफ द गवर्नमेंट एंड द स्टेट एम्प्लॉयज आर रिक्वायर्ड हियर. वी शुड पहले पार्ट में जो है इस आर्टिकल के, देर इज वन स्टोरी दैट इज मेंशन इन फर्स्ट पार्ट ऑफ दिस आर्टिकल, एंड दैट शोज, लेट्स से, हु इज more sinner, the one who is tempting or the one who is getting tempted. ठीक है, तो who is the more sinner, or we can say that whose sin is comparatively higher, severe, the one who is tempting the other person or the one who is getting tempted. And the analogy is used to explain the tempter being the government or those who had some kind of hate speech. They were part of government, or we can say the political party, and the tempted is basically the people, those who are involved in the violent protest, we can say. So how the hate speech, those involved in hate speech or the tempter is not punished according to law, and those who got tempted are severely punished by the government, by the state. This analogy is used here. Okay, so let us understand that part. Law seems to overlook the provocation of the tempter but finds the tempted guilty immediately, and the state comes down on the violent protesters with the heavy hand. As we know that the violence, yes, the protest, right to protest is part of, we can say, the freedom given under Indian Constitution, but the violent protest, of course, it is not accepted, and that's why the state comes on the with the heavy hand to suppress such kind of violent protest. Okay, now with the, let's say, this aspect, overlook the provocation of tempter but finds the tempted guilty. Here you should know that how the guilty is being punished. So there will be arrests, there will be demolition drive, on their houses. These demolitions are without sufficient time. And this sufficient time so that they can seek some kind of redressal from the appropriate authorities, including judiciary. So these kind of actions are being taken by the state, while those who are tempters, जैसे यहाँ पे जो है, जो बीजेपी के मेंबर्स थे, स्पोक्स पर्सन, उन्होंने जो प्रॉफिट मोहम्मद के अगेंस्ट जो कमेंट्स किए थे, right, so those are not arrested, or basically they are given protection against some kind of arrest, or their life is at the stake, ऐसा उनको बोल के protection दिया जा रहा है. So that's why we can say that the law seems to overlook the provocation but finds the tempted guilty in this manner. Now we should also understand that there are two judgments of 1996 wherein even Uttar Pradesh government itself is involved. The Supreme Court judgment has clearly said that shelter is the fundamental right. Right to shelter is the fundamental right under Indian Constitution. Now, which articles we can say under Article 19(1) and Article 21, right to life and personal liberty. Okay, so Article 21, yes, implicitly we can say right to shelter is there. But here in Article 19, freedom to reside in any part of the country. So that is also the freedom given here. These two rights are part of fundamental rights. So that's why they are being violated in this particular case when demolition is carried out without giving appropriate, justification, time for redressal or the other party to justify them. Now, why such actions by the state are illegal? First thing, especially in this Mr. Javed case, the writer is talking here. First thing is that the state collected taxes from illegally constructed houses, like this one in Mr. Javed's case. So the state collected taxes, although the let's say the house is illegally constructed at that place, but the state collected taxes from that person. So whether the state condoned the illegality or it became the complicit, we can say, in terms of participating in this illegality. And now suddenly they are saying that this is illegal and they are started demolition. Up till now they were, we can say, complicitly accepting this taxes from that person. Second thing we should understand here, in this particular case of Mr. Javed, so appropriate time was not given. सैटरडे नाइट को नोटिस लगा दिया है, घर के ऊपर, और संडे को डिमोलिशन हो गया है. दिस इज हाउ no time was available to them. Third thing is that the demolition drive was carried out on Sunday, which is government holiday. So how such proactiveness was shown by the state employees for this demolition drive when they are not so much active in the necessary areas of work, which is so much lagging at present, we can say. ठीक है, तो संडे को क्या जरूरत थी वहां पे जाके डिमोलिशन करने की जब वो पब्लिक हॉलीडे है. Okay, so such kind of questions are being raised here when such demolition drive is carried out, and we should understand here that the natural justice principles, that the person should be given fair trial or fair amount of, let's say, options, so that he is or she is able to justify their stand. Natural justice. Rule of law. So that means everyone in the state machinery is acting according to the rules, laws, regulations that are there, and this shows rule of law. But whatever the, let's say, demolition that is being carried out, so it is against rule of law, natural justice principles. This should be the arguments here. Now, what is the solution in this particular case of bulldozer justice? So yes, that demolition drives are carried out in illegal manner, so compensation to build their houses. Second thing is that whatever the mental harassment that has happened for those whose houses were demolished here, again some kind of compensation for this also. Mental stress, mental harassment. Third thing is that the accountability of the state authorities needs to be ensured. They needs to be held accountable. Why such kind of, let's say, demolition is carried out and without giving appropriate warning and sufficient time of, let's say, to listen to their case. ये सारी चीज़ें हम यहाँ पे बोल सकते हैं. And ultimately, basically the writer is very much critical of UP, Uttar Pradesh State Human Rights Commission. Why this body is not working in such kind of instances that are happening in the state, and this is statutory body, it is given statutory powers, but it is not taking suo moto recognition or cognition of such kind of instances that are happening. At national level, we know NHRC is quite proactive, but UP Human Rights Commission is not active. This should be dissolved and new body should be created. This is what the writer is saying here. Okay, fine. Now, simple question that can be asked in the polity part. Accountability jurisprudence in India has taken a back seat. Critically analyze in the light of contemporary developments. So use this development as one of the development while explaining this. ये पबैड में भी आपको आंसर क्वेश्चन आ सकता है. Okay, public administration optional subject. Fine. Accountability jurisprudence. So you talk about how the state machinery is not being held accountable. You give the example of Delhi police, you give the example of UP police, you give the example of Hyderabad police in the rape case that had happened a few years back. ठीक है, last year or last to last year जो investigation में lapses थे. So that was then in Tamil Nadu police. You talk about the jail, whatever, let's say the custodial deaths that had happened, father son, they died in the custody, police custody. Accountability jurisprudence. Yes, you give that example also. Okay, how the instant justice is being sought by the state authorities and accountability is not being held for those civil servants or public servants here in this case. ऐसे ये contemporary developments के example दे के आपने वहाँ पे explain करना है उसको.
Okay, sir.
Next, move to link credit card with UPI. So RBI has proposed linking credit cards with unified payment interface UPI of which particular body maintains UPI platform? National Payment Corporation of India. Okay, it is promoted by RBI. National Payment Corporation of India जो है ये UPI को मैनेज करता है and it also issues रुपे कार्ड. रुपे क्रेडिट कार्ड जो है वो NPCI इशू करता है. Now, why RBI has proposed this? What explains the efforts to link credit card with UPI? Let us understand that. First thing you should know that UPI at present it is linked to bank accounts, or we can say debit cards. Bank accounts are having debit cards. So its volume of transactions since the start in 2016, UPI started in 2016. So immediately after the demonetization, UPI was launched and the volume of transaction has increased manifolds. Now the government wants to further increase or promote this UPI transactions by linking with the credit card. We know that people use credit card for different purposes. Why people use credit card more than debit card in India? You should know the reason. The spending through credit card is more as compared to debit card, because the people do not want to instantly change their savings amount. They want to plan their expenditure according to the payment or payment of salary that they get from 1st to 10th of the, let's say, month or something like that. ठीक है, तो उनको जो फिक्स्ड अमाउंट जो है वो उनका सेविंग्स का जो है वो चेंज नहीं करना रहता है. सो दे वांट टू पे इट लेटर, दे वांट टू टेक द लोन, दे वांट टू पे इन इंस्टॉलमेंट्स. सो दैट्स व्हाई दे स्पेंड थ्रू क्रेडिट कार्ड्स rather than debit cards, we can say. So that's why this facility at present what we have is UPI is, let's say there can be QR code scanner, but this UPI is, let's say at present the retail level businesses, they are not having POS machine, point of sale machine, and credit cards require this machine. They cannot have this use of, we can say, QR codes, because it is not linked to UPI. So to increase, we can say, options to pay, increase the options available to the customer to pay, such kind of linking of UPI with credit card is being done, and this will further increase the number of transactions through UPI. And this is one of the successful, we can say, digital marketing or digital or financial inclusion initiative UPI जो है वो government का. It has promoted, we can say, transparency in the financial transactions, and the government is able to track different kind of transactions. ये सारी चीज़ें आपको पता होनी चाहिए. Now, when will the facility will be made available? First of all, the government will or RBI will implement this in RuPay credit cards facility, and then after successful implementation, other credit cards, especially like Visa, Mastercard, ये जो फॉरेन की कंपनीज है उनमें भी ये इम्प्लीमेंट हो जाएगा. एंड फॉर दिस इम्प्लीमेंटेशन देयर विल बी सम नेसेसरी चेंजेस in the system, technical changes in the system will be done first. According to let's say those changes, then the initiative will be launched. What are the benefits of this provision? Just now we said that the benefits, the increased number of options available to pay with the customer. Then along with that there will be more and more spending by the people, which will be further helpful in boosting aggregate demand in the economy. For overall economic growth, it is good thing. Okay, so that's why we can say benefits are there not only to the customers or those businessmen but also overall economy. ऐसे आप benefits बोल सकते हैं. Now, why do authorities expect this move to spur the use of credit cards? See, this will further increase the use of credit cards because already credit card use is more than debit card. Debit cards do not provide flexibility in terms of spending. They are directly debiting the amount from your account. Credit cards provide that, let's say, facility that you spend now and you pay later. You pay in installments. So there will be some kind of flexibility. So this will further increase this particular, let's say, linking with UPI. तो लोग जो है ज़्यादा spend करेंगे credit card के through, and then they can have or they can pay it later. So this will further, we can say, boost the overall economic growth. ये part आपको पता होना चाहिए. Fine.
So France has also adopted UPI.
हाँ.
France has also adopted UPI.
France.
Yes, sir.
Yes, France is there, or other countries, India's neighboring countries are also using. Let's take for example, अभी नेपाल को हम ये टेक्नोलॉजी दे रहे हैं. Some of the African countries are also seeking this UPI technology from India. ठीक है.
Credit cards are going to be one type of microfinance department. They will be the only
Yes.
money to with some interest on that.
Yes, yes. So लोन जो होता है ना, छोटा लोन जो है वो क्रेडिट कार्ड के थ्रू मिलता है. इंस्टेंट लोन इज देयर. So yes, interest rate is high, but some in emergency case people avail such kind of loans because there can be some facilities available to pay in EMIs and all that.
So we can compare with the call money as well as the credit card is same, but it is a legal, that is a legal.
No, call money is different thing. Do not compare with this call money. Call money is at market level. ठीक है. And in market level huge amount of money is sought at a one call, जो जहाँ पे उनको immediate demand होता है. This is at customer level, at retail level we are talking. Fine. Okay. US to fund 3 Indian research institutions. The total funding will be this much. Okay, so $122,475,000 इतनी ज़्यादा वो फंडिंग करने वाले हैं फॉर नेक्स्ट पीरियड ऑफ 5 years, डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड इन टॉप 3 रिसर्च इंस्टीट्यूशंस. कौन से रिसर्च इंस्टीट्यूशंस है वो याद रखना है प्रीलिम्स के लिए. इंडियन काउंसिल ऑफ मेडिकल रिसर्च, नेशनल इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ वायरोलॉजी पुणे, नेशनल इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ एपिडेमियोलॉजी चेन्नई. Okay, so in these 3 institutions there will be funding. Now why they want to fund this? So yes, announced by the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, the fund will accelerate the progress towards India which is safe and secure from infection disease threats, through ICMR institutions focus on emerging and re-emerging pathogens. The prominent among these include detecting and controlling zoonotic disease outbreaks through One Health approach. What is One Health approach?
So nothing but to maintain the, is there any diseases we can able to control in a single state? That's why it can be carried.
One Health approach means integrating the health of human with health of environment. Okay, so health of environment means we need to protect the environment. We need to, we can say that, protect the wildlife. So basically, when we try to understand how there is interaction between human and wildlife, then we say that One Health approach. Okay, and that will be helpful in detecting such kind of zoonotic disease outbreaks. Evaluating vaccine safety monitoring system capacitating the public health workforce in the field of epidemiology and outbreak response, combating antimicrobial resistance AMR. इन एरियाज में ये रिसर्च को फंडिंग मिलेगा. Okay, then ICMR is unique position to conduct this work as this was originally established as an apex body for formulation, coordination and promotion of biomedical research in India and has taken up most of the laboratory based surveillance of infectious diseases in recent years. So ICMR is apex body in terms of this zoonotic diseases, infections spread in the country. Whatever the research related to these diseases is being conducted by ICMR and associated laboratories. ये जो नेशनल इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ वायरोलॉजी जो है पुणे में और नेशनल इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ एपिडेमोलॉजी चेन्नई. NTAGI recommends reducing booster dose gap for 6 months. So what is this particular body? Yes, so National Technical Advisory Group on Immunization. This is the apex technical advisory grouping for vaccination in the country. This was there before COVID-19 also. जो नेशनल इम्यूनाइजेशन जो प्लान है हमारा मिशन इंद्रधनुष, so that is implemented by this NTAGI. Now after COVID-19, the COVID-19 vaccination policy that is also researched and decided by this NTAGI. It is recommending to the government. Final decision is taken by the government. Now it has recommended the reducing the gap between second and precaution dose of COVID vaccines from the current 9 months to 6 months. This is the recommendation given. The government will take the final decision. The panel members found a lack of uniformity in the results upon mixing the jabs for the booster shots and stated that no recommendation for it can be made as of now. Okay, so जो मिक्सिंग या हेट्रोलॉगस बूस्टर डोज के बारे में अभी तक डिसीजन उन्होंने नहीं लिया है. The threat of monkeypox and requirement of vaccination were also discussed, and members were of the view that strong surveillance is what is required as of now. Vaccination is not required, and India has not reported any single case of monkeypox. The panel also reviewed data on Covaxin and Corbevax vaccine for 6 to 12 age group, and the members opined that data of COVID-19 burden and morbidity among the children is not robust enough to take any decision to begin vaccination of those below 12 years of age. You should know in past which particular vaccines are approved by the drug regulator in India. Biological is COVID-19 vaccine, Corbevax for aged between 5 to 12 and Bharat Biotech's Covaxin for 6 to 12. ये चिल्ड्रन के लिए 2 ही वैक्सीन अभी तक उन्होंने इमरजेंसी यूज के लिए अलाउ किया हुआ है. Currently all those age of 18 and above can receive this booster dose after 9 months time period. ठीक है, so this information is kind of follow up and revision to you. for COVID-19. ASEAN India meet, discuss remarks on profit informally. So this ministerial level meeting, foreign minister level meeting of ASEAN and India, 24th such meeting happened. At the same time, simultaneously, you should know, on 15th June, 24th ASEAN senior officials meeting also happened. So senior official meetings, then the ministerial level meeting, so both has happened. Now, as India and ASEAN celebrate 30th anniversary of their dialogue relations, this dialogue relations started in 1992. You should know this. We are celebrating the year 2022 as ASEAN-India Friendship Year. That's why we can expect question in mains examination. GS2 paper IR section. India-ASEAN relations. Fine. So in this meeting, what were the things discussed? They made the assessment on the progress of cooperation under all three pillars of partnership: political, security, economic and socio-cultural. Also, the steps for further implementation of ASEAN-India Plan of Action 2021 to 2025. This was taken. Okay. Now, hiring upper age limit raised to 23 for this year. Now, you should know that why Agnipath scheme was being criticized by some people and why there are protests, violent protests are happening. Okay, so yes, we have tried to discuss this, and you should know that the social fabric in rural areas or villages is associated with the lower strata or rungs of armed forces. ठीक है, जो सिपाही लेवल जो रिक्रूटमेंट होता है ज़्यादातर रूरल एरियाज से, विलेजेस से होता है, and they have some kind of job security. Once they get into the force, they serve the country with ultimate motivation, we can say, and morale, because they have some kind of job security and the pension after retirement. So this provides them security, and because of that the social relations in the villages for those military men is very important for them. ठीक है, उनकी शादी, उनके बच्चे और सब सारी चीज़ें इसके साथ associated है. Now recruitment only for 4 years provides some kind of uncertainty what will happen after 4 years. Okay, so that has led to insecurity among the youth. They have been preparing for so many years. In last 2 years there was no recruitment also despite of vacancies. So all these are resulting into anger and violent protest in some of the northern states where maximum recruitment happens from rural areas. ठीक है, so this is one of the reasons the government has taken this decision to temporarily increase the upper limit of recruitment age 23. Okay, but that is only for this year. 1 year exception is given. Why? Because last 2 years there was no recruitment. Let's see what happens in future about this, but violent protest is not good at all because the state will suppress it again with the force. ठीक है, तो yes, there should be peaceful protest, and the former or retired defense personnel has also expressed their opinion that this is not good idea of having such temporary force. ठीक है, temporary recruitment, short term recruitment. तो इसके ऊपर डिस्कशन एंड डेलिब्रेशन होना चाहिए सो दैट देयर इज अप्रोप्रिएट फीडबैक टू द गवर्नमेंट. ठीक है, यस. Yes, that is also true. Instead of that, we will say that those who are getting recruited for 4 years, will they be having same morale for like those who are recruited for 15 years or 20 years, जो long term serve करते हैं? So this aspect, and those let's say serving for 4 years when they are not having any pension or post retirement security benefits, will they be having same level of morale to serve for in the country? That is being questioned here. So it will affect the overall moral of armed forces, right? Yes. The next part is Supreme Court has said that demolition should not be retaliatory. Supreme Court has told the UP government. So here onwards, again further issuing notice to the state and listing the case hearing next week. The bench said question was whether the state had followed due process of law before demolishing the properties in places such as Prayagraj and Kanpur. Okay, so next week we will see what Supreme Court will say about this. Fine. Now what should be answer to this question?
Ready? C. Yes, sir.
Okay, so yes, C is correct answer. Consider the following statement and we have to find the correct answer. Spending through use of debit card is more than credit card in India. Just now we told you that spending is more through credit card in India as compared to spending through debit card. Okay, overall spending in terms of amount, ठीक है, overall volume of amount ये imagine करिए. Spending बोल रहे हैं हम, transactions नहीं. Okay, transfer of money is of course is happening through let's say account of the people, but spending we are saying for the consumer goods, तो वो credit card से होता है सबसे ज़्यादा, ठीक है, और या फिर हम बोलेंगे debit card से ज़्यादा. Then RuPay cards are issued by RBI. This is incorrect. They are issued by NPCI, which is promoted by RBI. RBI itself is not issuing RuPay cards. Then Unified Payment Interface UPI platform is managed by NPCI. This is correct statement. So only 3 is the correct statement here. Now banking sector से आपको हमेशा information based या factual based question आ सकता है prelims में. So whatever the new digital technology, financial fintech जिसको बोलते हैं ना, financial technology, उसके बारे में हर साल क्वेश्चन आता है. ब्लॉकचेन टेक्नोलॉजी हो या नॉन फंगिबल टोकन्स पे इस बार क्वेश्चन पूछा है, एनएफटी पे. तो जो भी ये डेवलपमेंट्स हो रहे हैं उसको फॉलो अप रखिए और उसका बेसिक तैयार करके रखिए. ओके, फाइन. एनी क्वेश्चन? सॉरी,
Why the transaction from credit card is not being linked to the QR code?
that see QR code facility is only available for UPI payments at present. Okay, it is only available for UPI payment, and we can say that those wallets of companies that are there like Paytm, PhonePe, उनके खुद के wallets होते हैं ना, उसको लिंक किया गया है. क्रेडिट कार्ड को अभी तक यूपीआई इंटरफेस को लिंक नहीं किया गया है. दैट्स व्हाई वी कैन नॉट पे थ्रू क्रेडिट कार्ड. सो व्हाट एट प्रेजेंट वी आर डूइंग, फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल वी आर ट्रांसफरिंग मनी फ्रॉम क्रेडिट कार्ड टू दोज वॉलेट्स. जैसे पेटीएम वॉलेट पे वो क्रेडिट कार्ड से मनी ट्रांसफर करते हैं और फिर स्कैन करके वो वॉलेट से पे करते हैं. तो यहाँ पे डबल ट्रांजैक्शन हो रहा है कि नहीं? एंड फॉर दैट ट्रांजैक्शन we have to pay to credit card company. ये भी आपको पता होना चाहिए. Right now many of these credit card companies they are charging for this transaction to transfer money to the Paytm wallet or other wallets. ठीक है?
Sir, I have one more, sir. Sir, especially software users, sir, before first card they need to some money for the EMI purpose, they use the credit card, not the salary account. After the first card before 50 card they will get salary. The same amount will pay through debit card. Ultimately the amount transaction will through only your finally debit card only. So why should they do only credit card is the high tax?
See, there is one flexibility available. No, see, whatever the transactions that are happening throughout the month, if they are done through debit card, at the end of the month we will not have any money And suppose there is emergency in last 5-7 days of last let's say month or last week of the month, so the money will not be available with you.
But sir, personally I see my software colleagues, friends, they will not take the more money, sir. Only the 5,000, 6,000 they will take more. Maybe mostly software will they will spend only 5 to 10,000 money, sir. Because of the credit card will be the high interest of rate also.
That is also true. That is also true. There are several benefits associated with spending through credit card. They give reward points. They give different kinds of offs to buy the articles. जो मतलब हम देखते हैं e-commerce पे जो है क्रेडिट कार्ड पे बहुत सारे ऑफर्स होते हैं, राइट. सो वन टाइम पेमेंट ऑफर्स होते हैं. आप आईफोन या कोई मोबाइल फ़ोन खरीदते हैं तो ये ऑफर्स की वजह से भी स्पेंडिंग ज़्यादा होता है क्रेडिट कार्ड से. The second thing you should know that the more you spend through credit card and pay through credit card appropriately and maintain that balance, your credit score is improving. Paying through credit card and honoring the payments of credit card will improve your credit score, and that will ultimately help you to take loans from the banks. जैसे हाउसिंग लोन है, कार लोन है, तो आपके क्रेडिट स्कोर से मिलता है ना वो, राइट.
Ultimately, why should that I have one doubt, sir, finally. Sir, actually, if you want to maintain a credit card, merchant you need to transact monthly at least 15 to 20,000. Otherwise, they will not give a credit card. They will close your credit card. That's why the one thing is they are going to be paying the EMIs and everything through debit card. That's why it's showing the medical report of a high transaction going only through credit card.
See, that is fine. When the people are getting benefits, they will spend through credit card. If the credit card is not providing benefits, tomorrow they will close the use of that credit card.
Yes, sir. Within monthly, at least there is some transactions also.
Yes. So that is fine. So जितना आप क्रेडिट कार्ड से पे कर रहे हैं तो that is basically because of some kind of reward points, improvement in the credit score is there, and emergency spending also happens. EMI facilities available, different kinds of offers are available in let's say different platforms, e-commerce platform. तो इसकी वजह से लोग ज़्यादा क्रेडिट कार्ड्स यूज़ करते हैं. ऐसे डेबिट कार्ड पे ऑफर्स ज़्यादा नहीं है. Nowadays they have started EMI payment and all. Fine. Okay. Let us stop.
Welcome to Lukmaan IAS. Study General Studies with Lukmaan IAS for building comprehensive knowledge. GS paper 2 and 4 will be taken by S. Ansari and other papers will be covered by renowned faculties. Live classes are as effective as offline classes. The classes are highly interactive in nature. Your doubts and queries will be addressed and there will be dictation of notes. In the last 10 years, Lukmaan IAS has set up a niche in the field of UPSC guidance.